Every night at 2:40 a.m., a call bell rang from a room that didn't exist. No patient, no records, no explanation. The first rule of night shifts at a care home is deceptively simple. Nothing unusual ever happens if you ignore it. That rule is a lie. I worked as a care assistant at a privately owned care home in the UK. By day it looked calm, warm, even comforting. Sunlight spilled through the hallways. Elderly residents shuffled in slippers, humming softly, completely absorbed in their own worlds. Staff greeted you politely. Flowers drifted through the lobby. Everything felt safe, normal. But night was different. The moment day staff left, the building changed. Shadows stretched unnaturally into corners. The hum of ventilators, motion sensors, and call bell panels grew louder, almost alive. I noticed sounds I hadn't before. Faint scraping behind doors, soft thuds echoing down empty hallways, doors closing slowly, as if moved by invisible hands. The air felt heavier, colder, suffocating. I told myself it was just imagination, that working night shifts was mentally exhausting. But deep down I knew something wasn't right. My job was simple: patrol the halls, monitor residents, respond to call bells, ensure everyone was safe. Most nights were uneventful. Occasionally a resident would wake confused or call for help. Occasionally a sensor would glitch. Nights were calm until room 12. Room 12 wasn't supposed to exist. According to official records, it was vacant, awaiting renovation. No patient assigned, no medical file, no entry in the system. Just a locked door at the far end of the hallway. The first night I worked, the call bell for room 12 lit up. I walked over, expecting a wiring error. Nothing happened when I reset the panel. The bell stopped. I shrugged it off. No big deal. The second night, the same thing happened. Same time, same room. I mentioned it casually to my supervisor. She barely looked up from her clipboard. Room 12 isn't in use, she said flatly. Probably a glitch. Ignore it. By the third night, motion sensors in room 12 started triggering. Each time the system displayed activity inside the room, but CCTV always showed nothing. The bed was perfectly made, curtains drawn, room silent, still, except for the mattress. Every night a faint depression appeared in the middle, like someone had been lying there moments ago. Sometimes it was warm. The temperature log showed sudden drops, several degrees colder than the rest of the wing, before slowly returning to normal. I tried to rationalize it. Drafts, faulty sensors, exhaustion, imagination. But the more I ignored it, the more impossible it became to deny. By the fourth night, I couldn't take it anymore. I checked CCTV manually while patrolling, hallway empty. I approached room 12 cautiously, key in hand. I pushed the door open. The room was spotless, as always. But the mattress, it had a clear impression in the middle. Deep, fresh. Someone had been there. I stepped back, trembling. Glanced at the monitor. No one was there. The hallway silent. Then I noticed an incident report lying on a desk nearby. Someone had left it accidentally. I opened it. Patient in room 12 passed away 6 months ago during night shift. Staff present. My name was listed. I froze. I did not remember entering room 12. I did not remember anything unusual. Yet the system insisted I had been there. I confronted my supervisor. Her smile was tight, nervous. "Old building," she said. "Sometimes the system records phantom entries. Don't worry about it." Something in her eyes told me she knew more than she was saying. By the seventh night, activity escalated. Every night at 2:40 a.m., the call bell flashed. Temperature dropped. Mattress showed fresh impressions. Shadows flickered as I passed. Faint whispers followed me down the hall. Sometimes I thought I saw movement in the corner of my eye. Someone crouching, waiting. Other staff dismissed my concerns. "It's your imagination," they said. "Stress from night shifts." But the senior night nurse looked at me differently. Quietly, away from everyone, she whispered, "You're seeing it. Everyone sees it, but no one talks about it. That room, it's never empty." Her words sent a chill down my spine. I dreaded 2:40 a.m. every night. The more I stayed, the more the building felt alive. The call bell would flash before I heard footsteps. Motion sensors triggered before I even walked past them. The faint smell of antiseptic mixed with something metallic like blood filled the air. Every creak of the floorboards made me jump. Shadows seemed to bend, elongate, almost move toward me. And every night at 2:40 a.m., the system logged a care assistant present in room 12, even when no one was near. I began keeping a log, trying to rationalize it. Exhaustion, sleep deprivation. stress, but my handwriting trembled. My heart pounded. I dreaded hearing the faint creak of floorboards and empty halls. I could feel unseen eyes on me, even when alone. One night, I was on my rounds when the call bell flashed. I froze. The temperature dropped sharply. Shadows twisted along the hallway like dark smoke. I glanced at the monitor and saw a faint figure inside room 12. Not fully formed, just a blur. Watching me, I ran to the door, tried the handle, locked. The figure didn't move. I could feel it watching, waiting. I shouted for help. No one answered. Phones silent. Hallways empty. I backed away, heart hammering, and it felt like the room itself was breathing, pulsing, alive. That night, something irreversible happened. The badge on my uniform beeped. Access log. Room 12. Entry confirmed. I hadn't touched the door. I hadn't entered, but the system insisted I had. The next nights were worse. Every creak, every shadow, every gust of cold air felt deliberate. I started sleeping with lights on at home. Hallways haunted my dreams. I could almost hear the faint hum of machines, the call bells flash at 2:40 a.m., over and over. I tried taking a leave, but nightmares followed me. I began wondering if leaving the job would even save me. Something had attached itself to me. Room 12 was no longer just a room. It was a presence, a memory, a living thing that watched. Management eventually sealed room 12 permanently. Door locked. Cameras disabled. Official explanation: insurance issues. But whispers continued among night staff. Former assistants reported the same phenomenon. At 2:40 a.m., call bells flash, temperature drops, motion sensors spike, and the system logs someone present in room 12. Sometimes, when former staff recount the story, they glance nervously around the empty halls. Under care assistant present, there is always a name, and that name is never empty. Even now, years later, I wake in the middle of the night and picture those dark hallways, silent except for the hum of machines. I picture room 12 and wonder, does the system still log a care assistant every night at 2:40 a.m.? And if so, who or what really occupies that room when no one is watching? Because in that building, room 12 was never and will never be empty. I still remember the cold, the shadows, the whispers, the way the room seemed to breathe. The way the mattress imprinted itself every night, as if someone was always lying there, waiting. And sometimes, when I close my eyes, I swear I see a figure standing at the far end of a dark hallway, watching. One final thought lingers. Room 12 is waiting, and it always will be.